Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by for a visit today. I'm excited to be back here with you today, and I hope you're all having a great day. So today I am drinking caramel apple tea. That is so good. It is so delicious and so yummy. So I thought I was getting a coffee. I didn't have my glasses on as I was getting things ready. And I pulled out the box that Michelle had sent me, and this is it's a variety box from Amazon that has it has coffees and teas and hot chocolates in it. So I pulled out this box, and I was going to, I thought I was probably get a coffee, right? Well, it turns out it was caramel apple tea, which is yummy, and I'm glad it was the caramel apple tea. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking today. I did add ice in it. I did it in these are K cups, by the way. Oh, another caramel apple. These are K cups, by the way, and so I did it on 10 ounces, and then I filled the cup up the rest of the way with ice because I didn't want hot tea. So yeah, that's great. So I've been working on this wrap that I am making, and today is day 30 of this wrap. So 30 days. This is 30 days right here, and I'm just putting this little tiny skein in every time I work on it. So it's been a little bit, growing slowly in a sense where I could probably sit and work on it while I watch a couple of movies and, you know, get a whole lot of yarn into it. But I'm just working that one little skein a day. And so it's, turning out really cute. This is what it looks like so far. There's the yellow that I started with. You can see that. And then each day I've just added a, different color yarn. And it's a surprise yarn, so I don't know. I'm not picking the colors, and I don't know what color yarn I'm going to get from day to day. And that's the exciting part of it, just getting a surprise color of yarn. So let's see what color we're going to add in today. Have my baggie here. Oh, a blue. Um, that's a pretty color, blue. So that's the color I'll be adding in. Let me see if I can find a tail. Maybe I should pull from this end. All right. We had storms all night long. Just, it would pour down rain, and then it would slack off and just drizzle for a bit, and then it would just pour down rain. It was thunder and lightning and just carrying on out there. But that did not stop the duck hunters. They rolled down the road like a parade at 4 a.m., even though it was pouring down rain. Duck hunters are dedicated. Let me just tell you. I don't know if I've mentioned before. I mean, I know I have mentioned before, but not lately. We live in the WMA, which is a wildlife management area. And during duck season, um, duck hunters aren't allowed to go out on the WMA until 4 a.m. So, and then they want to get out there. They want to be the first one out there to get the perfect spot, right? So they line up the night before, starting probably around like 8 p.m. They start lining up on the blacktop up the road because they can't come onto the WMA until 4 a.m. So that means they can't go on the gravel road. So they line up on the blacktop road all the way down the road. They start lining up about 8 p.m. and they sit there all night long. If you go outside, you can hear, the music, you can hear them talking. Um, Sometimes you can hear it in the house, but most of the time they are pretty chill, pretty quiet, and not, they don't disturb or anything. But come 4 a.m., they all crank up their vehicles and hot tail it down the road. Like, and if you know anything about hunters and their trucks, they usually are loud. So it's like a parade comes down the road at 4 a.m. I'm usually up anyway, but yeah, at 4 a.m. it's like a parade of duck hunters going down the road. I'm not talking like 4 or 5 vehicles. I'm talking 20 or more. It's funny to watch them all go down the road, and especially like when it's pouring down rain. You're like, what? Why aren't you home in your bed? But anyway, it didn't stop them. They were there. So I got my blue tied on to my olive green that I used the other day. And let me get my strap situated here on my hand. And I am using a 7mm hook on this project. There's no pattern. I'm just making it up. I didn't even count the number of chains when I started the project. So it's a no stress project, just doing whatever. So I put that olive green in and I did the granny square stitch all the way down and turned and come back down doing the granny um, stitch. And so I need to finish this row off doing the granny stitch, and then I'll see what I'm going to do for the next row. But I have some of y'all's questions that I was going to ask while I'm crocheting some of this in. And if you want to, in the comments below, you can ask a question and I will try to get to it and answer it in a future video. So that's what we've been doing, and it's working out pretty good. So I'd love to see your questions down below. So someone asked if I've ever worked outside the home. Well, I have not. I have not, because I homeschooled my kids, and that is a full-time job right there. Let me just tell you. Homeschooling kids is a very full-time job. So no, I did not work outside the home. Someone asked, is there a state registry for homeschoolers? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's in Louisiana, we have parishes, and so you can register by parish, register, through the state. It's a lot of registering and, some paperwork and things like that goes along with it. Not so much that, you can't do it. It's just filling out a little form and sending it in. And you can do it electronically now, so you don't even have to put in a lot of effort in it. Nowadays, you can just do it electronically. Back in the day when I started homeschooling, you had to print it off and send it in. Someone asked about my yarn room. I think I might have answered this here recently, though. But my yarn room is not finished because a lot of things got pushed in there that is going to go in Elijah's room when he gets all his stuff out of there. So yarn room is full of stuff other than yarn. and I can't get to my yarn. That's the bad part about it. Somebody said, why don't I film at my desk? Because my desk is piled up with yarn. My desk stays a mess. I can clean it up, and the next day you can't even tell that I cleaned my desk off. Um, and also, there's no lighting in there. Every time I film in there, it looks really, really bad. The lighting on the video is really bad, and so this is where the best lighting is, and so this is where I film. This blue looks good up against this pink that's coming out here. Okay, so that's all the questions I had wrote down on that paper. Let me move to another paper because I've just been jotting questions down whenever I can look at my comments. Someone asked, how long do I have to take this chemo drug? Until it starts affecting my liver, and that's just the way it is. I've taken this drug before in the years past, and it did start affecting my liver, and so I had to stop taking it. And so they're just I have to get blood work done so they can keep an eye out to, make sure it's not damaging my liver or kidneys, so yeah. Someone asked, why don't your boys build, houses on your land? Because our land floods. Our house sits on the highest point of the land, and so they, wouldn't want to build in the flood areas. Seems like somebody else asked something about that. Yes, we do live in a flood zone. No, we cannot get insurance. So we do not have flood insurance because it's not available to us. The way our house sits is up on the highest point of the land. So when the water is rising, it comes in from the back and the side, and it kind of just circles around us until it starts rising on the part that we are on. And you can't really tell that our part is elevated unless the water circles around you, and then you can tell. So we're not on a hill per se. Someone else asked, have I always had dogs or cats? I've always had a dog in my life. There's not ever been a point where I didn't have a dog. I consider myself totally a dog person, but I like cats too. But I've just always had a dog. Cats. Me and Big Daddy got a cat when we first got married. We named her Sam, and then she turned out to be, no, we named her Samantha, and then she turned out to be Sam later. But anyway, that was a good cat. We enjoyed Sam. He was a good cat. And then my son Dakota, he's had cats off and on growing up and just throughout his life. And he had a cat when he lived here and moved out. He had Monty, so he still has Monty where he lives now. But Monty lived here, and he was a crazy cat. And then Dakota moved out, so of course he took his cat and dog with him. And now he has another cat. And I think someone asked about Dakota's dog, Windsor. He named his dog Windsor, and he is doing good, and he loves playing with Dakota's cats. Dakota's cats are Ozzy and Monty, which is Montgomery, and then Windsor is his dog. How long have I been crocheting? I just answered that like a couple videos ago, but since the October of 2019. is when I learned to crochet. Someone asked, when is my birthday? It is April the 2nd. Okay, the Yoda blanket. Someone asked about, did I ever finish that Yoda blanket that I started for Dakota? No. If you recall, when I was working on that, I ended up going into the hospital, and it was just, it was boxed up and put away. And so I had a really, at that time when I come out of the hospital, I had a really rough go, and we ended up back in the hospital, and it was in and out of the hospital. Ended up in a nursing home. Um, it was a really rough time. So that did not get unboxed until way later. And now I can't never find the yarn for that at Michael's. And I've tried to order it online, but the website just will not work for me. So next time I go to Shreveport, I'm going to go to the Michael's there and try to, find that yarn so I can complete that, because I do have that project back out again and in a little container waiting on me to be able to get to work on it. So I'll start working on that again once I get the yarn that I need for it. Let's see. Does Phoebe like to cuddle? Yes, she does. She likes at night for me to hold her when I'm sitting at my desk. I have a movie on, and she likes for me to hold her while we watch a movie. And she watches TV. She does watch the screen, and then she'll get tired of sitting up watching the screen, and then she turns and lays on me and puts her head on my shoulder. So she likes to be held and cuddled. And then, like, when I'm sitting in my chair, I'm just kind of laid back, and she just lays on my chest. Um, Someone asked, do I like to make granny squares? Yes, that is one of my favorite things to do is make granny squares. I love crocheting granny squares. They just are so satisfying. I can make granny squares all day long. And I have lots of granny squares made to eventually turn into projects. But in the meantime, I just do granny squares every now and then. Um, just because I enjoy making them. I like granny square projects. Let's see. Someone asked, how did Big Daddy and I meet? I did answer that just a couple of days ago. We met at Walmart, and that is where I got him from. Um, oh, I think several people have asked this. That black and white wrap I usually wear, I did not make that. That was bought at Sam's several Christmases ago, probably like 3 Christmases ago, I believe. It's not made with yarn. It's made like out of feels like a blanket. It's not yarn. Several people have asked, did I make it, and what kind of yarn is it, and all that. But it's like a blanket. It's not really yarn. Oh, let's see. Someone asked, does Phoebe sleep with me? Sometimes, mostly when I take a nap during the day. At night, um, when she gets in the bed with us at night, her whole goal is to get over on Big Daddy and get in his beard and rub her head all in his beard. And he's usually asleep when I get in the bed, and so I have to hold her down and keep her from doing that. And I don't get any sleep because I'm constantly checking on trying to make sure she's not getting over there waking him up. And so I don't sleep when she's in the bed with us because, he has to get up for work and I don't want her waking him up every few minutes. During the day, when I lay down to take a nap, she often goes with me and takes a nap with me. And I still don't sleep good with her because she gets under my pillow. And so I feel like I can't just like relax and put all my weight down because she's right up under my pillow. And I can pull her out and put her down under the cover and she gets right back up there under my pillow. That's where she wants to be. Someone was asking me about an issue they have with their right-handed, and they were asking me about this hand. They have issues with this hand, and they can't hold their yarn. And they were asking me if I had any ideas for them. They do make these things called ring guides, I believe they're called. I know Hobby Lobby has some, and you thread your yarn through it and it guides your yarn. So if you have a finger, you can put that ring guide on. The yarn comes through that, and so you don't have to like hold the yarn. So check out Hobby Lobby for that. Someone asked, okay, here's two questions about Big Daddy. Someone asked, why do I call him Big Daddy? And then they may comment that I tell my boy's name, so why can't I tell his name? I've told his name many, many, many times on here. It's Jody. Sometimes I refer to him Jody, but most of the time I refer to him as Big Daddy. And I did not really give him that name. A lot of people call him that. People at his work and just different, friends, different people. That's what they call him. So um, it's just a nickname. And then someone asked, "What is Big Daddy's hobbies?" He um, he used to have lots of outdoor activities that he enjoyed, but his life has changed and it's not the case anymore. Hold on one second. Let me figure out what I was doing here. Okay, I chained one. Okay, just making sure I did chain one. So now he collects coins. He collects old coins or just different coins and coins from different places. Um, yeah, he collects coins. He enjoys looking at old coins or just going through coins and looking for certain dates or whatever, It's what he likes to do. Um, okay, so I did a video about ollies the other day, and a lot of people were saying they didn't have ollies. And so I did want to say if you have a Big Lots in your town, ollies and Big Lots are very similar. They both have like closeout items that come from other stores, and they don't carry the same thing over and over. If you see it there that day, you should get it because when you go back later, they most likely won't have it. But Big Lots, if you have a Big Lots or if you've ever been to a Big Lots, it's very much like Ollie's. Um, okay, so someone asked about the trigeminal neuralgia that I have. That's this nerve here that gets flared up at times. It's not always flared up, but at times it just flares up out of nowhere, and it's very painful and hard to live with. Very hard to live with. They were asking about face mask. If that bothers it, yes. When that is flared up, Yes, I cannot wear a face mask for anything. Sometimes when it's not flared up and I put on a face mask, it will flare it up. It just kind of depends. I mean, it don't always do it. It's, but sometimes it does. Thankfully, right now, the only place I have to wear a face mask is when I go to the oncology department at the hospital. When I go there to get iron infusion, that is the only department in the hospital that requires face masks, for um, because people have cancer and they're sick and their immune system's really low and stuff like that. And then they asked, does the wind bother it? Yes. Sometimes the wind outside can bother it. Sometimes just the ceiling fan being on can bother it. Not every time, just sometimes. Sometimes in the truck, the air coming out of the vents in the truck will start flaring it up. You just never know when it's going to flare up and when it's not. It's it has its own mind and it does whatever it wants to do. Pretty much, pretty much. Someone asked about. I had told a story here just before Christmas about a girl that my son hired at the shoe store in the mall, and she, on her second day of work, she allegedly stole $200 plus several pairs of shoes. And so anyway, they asked what happened to her. She denied it, and she was let go. They didn't have proof, but they do know that she carried out all these bags of shoes at the end of the day, and she did not pay for them. So anyway, this blue is looking pretty good on here. This is what it's looking like. And I finished off that row with the granny stitch, and then there's a big old silver hair. And then I turned the work, and let me get to the end down here so I can pull that out. And now I'm doing double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, and then double crochet. So it's little window panes. So that's what I'm going to do for this row, and just do that all the way down with this blue. And then I'll be back tomorrow for day 31. Can you believe that? And we'll get a new yarn color, new questions to ask, and just have another whole fun video. So I do appreciate you guys for watching so very much. I enjoy spending time with you guys, and remember, it is a beautiful day to crochet, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, friends.